Welcome to my new video. This is another Easter cross pattern. I just wanted to introduce this real quick. I really like the way this turned out. It has a nice little effect. So stay tuned, and in the next step I'll go over the pattern and the materials I use. Thank you for watching. I wanted to introduce the patterns and the material I'm using for this cross. It's got 5 layers with different cutouts in it so that you get that effect on the cross. I got a base. This is just a scrap piece of 1/4 inch plywood. This is 1/8 inch Baltic birch, my last piece. I laid them out to try to maximize the amount I can get out of this piece without wasting too much of it. And you see I got this clear on it. That's not tape. I used a clear self-adhesive shelf liner. That's such a big area. I use that on some, especially larger projects like this. It works really well. It don't take so long to apply it, and I believe it's probably cheaper in the long run. But now what I got to do, I got to drill all my entry holes. I've got a couple right here. And then I'll probably break this down so I won't have to be handling this whole big piece on the scroll saw. I'll break it down, maybe with the scroll saw. I'll just cut these individuals out so I can work with them one at a time. But that'll be the next step, and I'll see you over at the scroll saw. All right, I've got these broken down. I've got 2 on this one. I got 2 on the other one. I got 1 by itself. I'm gonna make these internal cuts on this piece, and then I'll cut the external ones out, and we'll go to the next one. We've only got 5 of these, and they're not very intricate. They're fairly large, so I think it'll go pretty quick. I had to go back and clean that out a little bit. I'll do the other one the same way to make sure they fit. I got it fitting really snugly now, which is what I wanted. So you have to, I like to test that before I cut the outside part. It's easier to do it right now. So I'm going to cut the other one a little bit, and then I'll test it. All this cut out, I had to take my little needle file here and go over these. When you're cutting with the grain of the top layer of that plywood, it wants to send off a little tendril, tie a little ribbon, and they'll break and stick various places. I had to clean all those off. I had to go through each layer and do that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start gluing them. And I'm going to start with the top two layers because I'm going to work down. I want the effect I want down through here. And I'm not going to worry so much about this outside lining up. I can always sand that. I'm going to try to line it up and make, if it looks good inside, but I can always sand this outside down. Main thing is I want the right effect on the internal cuts. So I'm going to start with gluing this first layer and proceed from there. Okay, so there I've got the first two layers together. Trying to avoid any squeeze out in the center. I'm using very little glue, but I'm spreading it over a large area here and these areas out here. So I'm going to clamp that and give it 15 or 20 minutes before I try to put the next one on. So I'm adding another layer. I'm lining these up very carefully one at a time. Like I say, I want to make sure I get the internal look the way I want. The rest of this can be sanded to match, but it's coming out pretty good. So give this a few minutes. And put another layer on. So here goes the last piece with an internal cut. Try and just make sure it's lined up. Got a little glue on it. And actually the external is lining up real well. I'll have to have a little bit of adjustment, I believe, with a sander, but not much. I'll smooth that off a little bit with that. It's actually looking kind of like what I want it to. So we'll clamp that up, and then we'll have the backing plate to put on it, and then mount it in the base, which has already been glued together. And then we'll see what we're going to finish it or what we're going to do with it. But right now I'm real pleased with the way it's looking. So there we have the finished product. I'm real pleased with the way that turned out. Biggest part of doing that correctly is to get everything lined up when you're gluing it together. Cutting is pretty simple. It's just you got 4 layers internal cuts and a backing piece and the 2 bases. It's not a very hard cut at all. Just have to be careful lining it up. And I cleaned these edges up with a sharp chisel to get some of the high spots off of it and a little bit of sanding on it, but it came out pretty good. I was pleased with it. So thanks for watching, and please hit the subscribe button if you like what I'm doing. Hit the like button, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.